never known another like you. No other God can do the things you do. Through every single valley, mountain, drought or fountain, you won't never know. I've never known another like you. No other God can do the things you do. Through every single valley, mountain, drought or fountain, you pull me through. You sent me
You all today. It's good to see Paul and Sue here today, Hannah's parents. And there are other people who need, many people who need our prayers at this time. Thank you to everyone who provided food and help in making the core anniversary fellowship tea yesterday a success. I'm sure we had all a good time. The coffee morning at St Joseph's Church Hall takes place this coming Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And if you can help with our coffee mornings that take place once a month, there's a leaflet at the back, and there's also a sheet signing if you can help this situation. I had an email from Hayley and Mark Daniels this week asking me to thank people who sent cards to them for their birthdays. And we've got a couple of birthdays today, Polly's birthday and Miriam's birthday, so we wish you both a happy birthday. And James is doing a half marathon on the 29th of July, and that's in aid of ISCA. So if you'd like to see James for further details. And now I'll hand the meeting over. Thank you.
Oh, good morning. It's also lovely to see Graham here this morning, and it's great to see you worshipping with us. And we continue to pray for him, don't we? You want to give him a clap, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, we continue to pray for you and your family. Please be assured of our prayers. Well, what a day yesterday. We had a lovely afternoon, didn't we? Yeah, those that came and enjoyed the fellowship, we had a really lovely time together. And then we went home and had, those that watched the football, had quite a dull, I don't know how many minutes, sleep, 90 minutes plus, and then it kind of got exciting in the last few minutes, didn't it? So those that follow the football, those that don't, England are through, and to the next stage. So what a day. It's part of our weekend that we are celebrating our core anniversary. And as you will see, the theme for today, this weekend, has been Life is a Journey. And we thought a little bit about that last night, and we continue to think about that this morning. So we're going to turn to an opening song where we give thanks to God for this journey that we've been on, individually and as a core over these last years. It's 816 in the songbook. It's a bright song that reminds us, Lord, for the years, your love has kept and guided, urged and inspired us, cheered us on our way, sought us and saved us, pardoned and provided. Lord of the years, we give our thanks today. You ready to give thanks to God today? Yes, for all that he has done for us. So let's just stand together as we sing these verses. Thank you, Neil. Be seated. That song sets the theme for our worship. We were reminded in verse 1 about thanking God for all the years that he has been with us. So we acknowledge this morning the past. But as we move through that song, it talks in one of the verses in verse 3 about our current generation, about sort of appreciating what is happening in the present. And verse 5 brought us to the future, that we can take the future with us, knowing that God is there with us. And so this morning we anticipate the future. And that sets our theme for our worship this morning. And I want to share just a couple of verses from Psalm chapter 1. I will praise you, O Lord, with all my heart. I will tell of all your wonders. I will be glad and rejoice in you. I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. Those who know your name will trust in you, for you, Lord, have never forsaken those who seek you. Those verses remind us that God has been there with us and continues to be with us now and for the future. And a little bit later, you'll have time in our service, hopefully, to just praise God for something that's happened in the past life of this core. That'll be part of our thinking initially. We've acknowledged that life is a journey. We all have a past, we all have a present, and we all have a future. And the psalmist tells us to praise God for all the marvellous things he has done. The psalmist also tells us to live in the present, to sing praises, be filled with joy. But the psalmist also tells us to trust God in the future. So today in our worship, we acknowledge the past, we appreciate the present, and we anticipate the future. And as we think about a core anniversary, it's natural for us to think back on various events. And we acknowledged yesterday that the core here, not in the school, in York, has been worshipping in York for 143 years. And when you had your centenary, there was a booklet produced. Many of you will probably still have it. Many of you will have seen it. And we often look back at it, look at the photos of you all, those that were here before 43 years ago, and look at what was happening in the events of the core. And I picked out some of the events that happened in the first 100 years of what happened in York Salvation Army. We're then going to share a song together as we thank God. And then you've got the opportunity to praise God for something that's happened since then. So in the last 43 years. Okay, something that's happened in this core life that you want to praise God for in those last 43 years. So on the 31st of July, 1881, there was an open air on pavement area. And in 1881, a site in Gillygate was purchased for £750. On the 26th of March in 1883, the hall was opened by General William Booth. And it's not always been plain sailing, it's not always been easy, because on the 21st of May in 1885, Lieutenant Annie Bell was imprisoned for 1 month after failing to pay a 20-shilling fine. And the fine was given to her because of the shouting and singing of Salvationists outside a property in St Sampson's Square. And there she was, imprisoned for 1 month. In 1911, William Booth came back again as part of his motorcade. He came to York, and 1,700 people were in attendance in the Citadel. In 1929, there was a visit from General and Mrs. Higgins, and 1,300 were present, and 60 went to the mercy seat. In 1935, anybody remember 1935? Flo, bless her. It was the first time electric lights were fitted in the gallery at the Citadel. 1948, I put this one in because somebody used to play in Kettering Band. They had a visit of Kettering Band. I don't think you were in it in 1948, were you? No. 1957, you had a visit from the Staff Band. And in 1967, you had a visit of the Joy Strings. In 1977, in Thames, there was the recommencement of the Corps Cadet Brigade, and then celebrated the centenary, you did the musical Glory, and you had the visit of the staff songsters. So quite a lot has happened in those first 100 years. We talk a lot about the elections and the Prime Minister, what he's going to do in his first 100 days, and this is what has happened in the Corps in York for the first 100 years. So we're going to sing a song that reminds us about praising God and thanking God. And then you're going to have the opportunity for just very briefly to say something that you want to praise God for that's happened since 1981 up to the present day. So it's song number 45 in our songbook that reminds us, now thank we all our God with hearts and hands and voices, who wondrous things have done, in whom his world rejoices, who from our mother's arms hath blessed us on our way with countless gifts of love, and still is ours today. Again, it reminds us about what God has done, but how in the present he is still there for each one of us. Let's sing these verses together. Thank you, James.